Hello, welcome back to the Voice of Mzansi. Today, we're going to unpack what really happened at the Soweto clinic that's been making headlines, and why trade unionist Trevor Sebei says much of the chaos we've been seeing is not what it seems. Please stay with us until the end so you can hear the sources yourself and verify the news. And while you're here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future updates. Over the past few weeks, Soweto's clinics have been in the spotlight after tensions between locals and foreign nationals spilled into public view. Videos and pictures have been circulating online, showing frustrated patients, long queues, and heated exchanges between staff and those seeking medical attention. Some people claim that undocumented foreign nationals were overwhelming the system, leaving South Africans waiting longer or being turned away. But Sebei, who's been active in addressing the issue on the ground, says there's a more complicated reality behind those viral images. Speaking to the media, he explained that while there are indeed foreign nationals using the clinics, many of them are not there illegally. In fact, according to Sebei, a large portion of them are actively seeking legal documentation or have already taken steps to regularize their stay in the country. He emphasized that it's important to separate the legitimate frustration South Africans have about service delivery from assumptions that every foreigner in a clinic is undocumented. He says these assumptions can sometimes lead to unnecessary tensions, even harassment, of people who are following the law. This is where the conversation becomes a little sensitive because South Africa's health system, by law, must treat people in need of urgent care regardless of nationality or status. Sebei believes the chaos at the Soweto clinic was partly fueled by a lack of proper communication from authorities and by the frustration many South Africans feel about the wider state of the healthcare system. In his words, the problem is not just about who's in the queue, but about a system that's already stretched thin by shortages in staff, medicine, and infrastructure. He says this is what fuels the anger we're seeing in communities, and unfortunately, foreign nationals often become the easiest target when people look for someone to blame. On the day of the incident, community members claimed that the clinic was packed with foreign nationals, many of whom they assumed were undocumented. Social media posts quickly spread these claims, sparking outrage online. But Sebei says that the reality is more nuanced. Some of the people there had asylum seeker permits, refugee status, or were in the process of applying for proper documentation. Others had already secured work or study permits. This conversation also raises the question of how well our immigration and health systems talk to each other. If there were a clearer, faster process to confirm a person's legal status, perhaps tensions like these could be avoided. Sebei's point is that without fixing the systems, these confrontations will keep happening, and both South Africans and legal foreign residents will suffer. The Department of Health has also reminded the public that while clinics have a duty to provide basic and emergency health care to anyone in need, there are clear guidelines on what is free and what is charged. In some cases, foreign nationals, especially those here on certain permits, must pay for certain services, while South African citizens receive them free. The department says enforcing these rules is a matter for clinic administration and not for ordinary citizens to take into their own hands. Sebei has urged South Africans to hold the government accountable for fixing the structural problems in healthcare, rather than letting the conversation spiral into xenophobic assumptions. He warns that when misinformation spreads, it can lead to dangerous situations, from verbal abuse to outright violence against people who may actually be in the country legally. This issue isn't going away anytime soon. South Africa continues to face immigration challenges, and healthcare is one of the most visible spaces where those tensions play out. People in long queues see others they think don't belong, and frustrations flare. But as Sebei points out, not every perception reflects the truth, and a careful, informed conversation is needed if we're going to address the real problems without turning on one another. It's also worth noting that community groups, NGOs, and legal aid organizations have been stepping in to help foreign nationals navigate the documentation process. This includes helping people apply for asylum, renew permits, and even challenge unfair treatment in public institutions. The reality is that legal documentation takes time, money, and sometimes years of navigating bureaucratic hurdles, and in that time, people still get sick, need medicine, or require urgent care. Sebei's comments are a reminder that South Africa's challenges are complex. Service delivery is under pressure. Immigration systems are slow and sometimes inefficient. And ordinary citizens are feeling the brunt of an economy that leaves many without jobs, housing, or reliable public services. But as tempting as it might be to find someone to blame, the real solutions will need more than angry confrontations at clinic gates. They will require policy changes, better management, and a more informed public conversation. Now, I know this is a heated topic. Some people will hear Sebei's message and agree, while others might feel he's downplaying the frustrations of South Africans. But whether we agree or not, his perspective adds a layer of truth that's often missing from the social media headlines. If we're going to solve these problems, maybe we need to slow down, ask questions, and make sure we're working with facts instead of assumptions. All images used are for illustration purposes only. Sources: Soweto Live, SABC News, IOL. So, what do you think? Do you believe most foreign nationals at our clinics are undocumented, or do you think, like Sebei says, that many are simply caught in a slow system trying to do things the right way?